Should you upgrade your 6800 XT? That's what I wanted to take a look at today. Examine a few games, more recent games, at 1440p and 4K. And we're also going to use a 7900 XTX just as a comparison point for what a potential upgrade could look like if that's what you decide to do. But I think the 6800 XT actually does pretty well. Let's take a look. I've also gone ahead and overclocked both cards. This is the 6800 XT's overclock settings profile. And this is going to be the 7900 XTX's overclock profile. That out of the way, let's look at these games. The first game we're going to look at is The Last of Us. This is going to be at 4K native. Ultra settings. The 6800 XT can't really maintain a 60 FPS. I mean, this is a very demanding game. The 7900 XTX, on the other hand, is able to do it no problem. And there are some more demanding areas in this benchmark where the FPS will drop a little bit further. But we're also going to take a look at FSR quality and what that looks like. That 7900 XTX, man, that's like 60% plus ahead of the 6800 XT. That's pretty crazy. Great upgrade.
Attention. Citizens are required to carry a current ID at all times. Compliance with all city personnel is mandatory.
Look at that. Ration line hasn't opened yet. Must be running low again. Seems like more people are getting infected.
That just means more people are sneaking out.
I mean, you could definitely play the game like this on a VRR display or FreeSync. It actually felt pretty good to play. It's not a very fast-paced game, but if you must have 60, then FSR quality is going to have to be it. And we're going to take a look at that next.
You see your IDs? Here you go. What's your business here? Got the day off. Visiting a friend. All right, move on through. Thanks.
Get out of here, Joe! Close it up! Fireflies! They're running!
Come on, let's get out of here.
Now we've enabled FSR quality on the right and native on the left. And that gets us to 4K 60 experience. That actually looks and plays really, really good. We'll take a look at 1440p next.
I got us all new papers. They shouldn't give us any static up there. Let's play it cool.
Alright, drive on through.
You see your IDs? There you go. What's your business here? Got the day off. Visiting a friend. All right, move on through. Thanks.
Get out of here, Joe! Close it up! Fireflies! They're running!
Come on, let's get out of here.
Here's 1440p. As you can see, the frames aren't that much different actually, and that's because we're CPU bound on the 7900 XTX pretty much the whole benchmark run. Even on the 6800 XT we hit some CPU limitations every now and then, but for the most part we're utilizing it pretty well. You're getting a very high refresh rate experience for a game like this, and a game like this is also very CPU demanding as well. So, but if you had a faster CPU, you could get more frames with the 7900 XTX. I would say the 6800 XT nails it in this game though. You can have a very pleasant 1440p experience, and even 4K.
Look at that. Ration line hasn't opened yet. Must be running low again.
We'll just skip ahead to the end of the benchmark here and move on with the next game.
You see your IDs? There you go. What's your business here? Got the day off. Visiting a friend. All right, move on through. Thanks.
surprise gift from
Here we have Ratchet and Clank at 4K native with no ray tracing, and the 6800 XT is able to do 60 frames per second, no problem. It might dip down and up, but overall, it's a pretty good gaming experience, I would say. The 7900 XTX is about 50-60% faster here and there. Pretty good. I would definitely say that's a good upgrade.
crown some of those world-class sharp shooting skills. Well, once he grabs some ammo of CAPELLIX, the home of heroes is safe.
Hey, I think I found the wombat!
What is this supposed to be a reenactment of?
Ratchet, I do not believe this is part of the show.
So next I wanted to take a look at and see what we can do with ray tracing with the 6800 XT at 4K. And if we just set reflections only to very high and set FSR to quality, we can get a close to 60 FPS experience with Ratchet and Clank. It actually does quite well. I did capture some 1440p footage that we're going to be looking at as well. You can actually do some 1440p native with ray tracing and the 6800 XT. It actually surprised me how well it performed. So we'll just take a quick look here and take a look at the reflections more closely. Zoom in on this guy here. Yeah, on very high, the reflections actually look pretty nice. I mean, I would say the reflections is probably the best ray tracing setting in this game and other games with ray tracing, although shadows are pretty nice as well. But I would definitely totally play this game this way with FSR on quality and ray trace reflections on a 6800 XT, no problem. Here we'll reduce the ray trace reflections resolution from very high to high. You can actually notice it if you pay close attention. The resolution does reduce, but you also gain about 5 to 10 extra FPS, so that's actually quite nice. Yeah, I would totally play the game like this. If all I had was a 6800 XT, it would be a very, very good experience. So let's jump into 4040p and look at that next. Here's 1440p native, no ray tracing, and it looks like we're CPU bound on both sides. Well, mostly on the XTX, that is definitely CPU bound, whereas on the 6800 XT, we are a bit CPU bound here and there, and running flat out mostly, but yeah, I mean, the FPS looks great here. We'll just kind of skip through this benchmark, get to the fighting part, and look at what the performance is like there. And then we're going to look at the ray tracing at 1440p native. But without ray tracing, you can have a high refresh rate experience, no problem.
Heroes is safe.
Hey, I think I found the wombat!
What is this supposed to be a reenactment of?
Ratchet, I do not believe this is part of the show.
Here we are at 1440p native, and we're gonna mess around with some ray tracing settings here. First, we'll try very high reflections only, and yeah, we can definitely have a 60 FPS experience. I've noticed that this starting area too is one of the more demanding areas, but yeah, let's take a look at this guy again and examine the reflections and look at the performance, which is pretty good. 1% lows are good. Image quality is really good. Everything looks great, actually.
All of these years, it is exciting.
Yeah, it is, huh?
Give it up to our heroes!
we'll skip ahead a little bit here, and we'll try to turn on ray trace shadows. And what I'm going to try to do is just lower the reflections from very high to high, because we don't have a lot of budget to play with to maintain that 60 FPS target. So let's give this a try. Reflections on high and shadows on high. And yeah, it looks like we're still able to keep that 60 FPS target. And yeah, I know that going from very high to high on the reflections resolution, it does lower the quality a little bit, but you're not going to really notice that. Or you might, I don't know, but it still looks pretty good. Definitely better than without, in my opinion. Now we'll try enabling ray traced ambient occlusion as well. I think this is the least demanding ray trace setting in this game, but yeah, we're able to keep that 60 FPS target.
Show the crowd some of those world-class sharp-shooting skills.
Now there may be more demanding or less demanding areas in the game, but I mean, just looking at this area here at 1440p native, you can have ray traced ambient occlusion, reflections, and shadows on high, and everything else on very high, and be able to maintain a 60 FPS target on the 6800 XT. So yeah, that surprised me a little bit. So that's quite nice.
Someone put a bounty on us?
I hope this is not about your gift.
So it looks like I might have to make a part 2 or even part 3 of this video, because I still have Baldurs Gate 3, Jedi Survivor, I have Callisto Protocol, Cyberpunk that I recorded, and I wanted to show the comparisons I made. It's just that this video has gone already to 13 minutes. So I will be making a part 3, but if you made it this far, thank you for watching, and if you can like the video, that would be great. It helps me greatly, and I'd like to hear your thoughts. Please comment below. Thank you.
Or, oh, Dr. Nefarious.